So as Pallavi noted, my name is Scott McLeod, and I am the Canadian Technology Accelerator Trade Commissioner for India, meaning that I coordinate the Canadian Technology Accelerator program here. It's really exciting to see such a large audience of Indian companies and such a high level of interest in Canadian technologies. But first, let me thank everyone who's been working so hard on this program. Pallavi and her team at Zinnov, Sunil, who has been an amazing mentor, and of course the companies themselves, who are really great examples of the type of exciting innovation that is happening in Canada right now, and who have committed to the program despite the challenges of doing it virtually with such a significant time difference. I'd like to note that, for several of the companies right now, it is actually after midnight where they are in Canada. And of course, I would like to thank High Commissioner McKay for taking the time to be here and say a few introductory words. So the CTA is a program that plugs Canadian companies into the Trade Commissioner Services global network of business development experts in 12 of the world's most dynamic markets in Asia, Europe, and North America. To date, CTA support has helped more than 730 Canadian companies raise over $742 million in capital, generate nearly $300 million in revenue, form 1,200 partnerships, and create thousands of new jobs. In India specifically, while a pilot CTA program was run several years ago, the formal program only recently launched with this first cohort, which consists of 7 companies that have deep tech innovations in various areas, and which you will learn more about in just a few minutes. As most of you know, deep tech includes innovations that are disruptive solutions built around unique, protected, or hard to reproduce technological or scientific advances. And of course, this means that these are innovations that take time to develop and mature. And as such, the CTA program in India is helping these Canadian deep tech companies today to capitalize on the growing Indian market by helping them access innovation ecosystems of global systems integrators, foster strategic partnerships, validate and test their technologies, and access critical resources such as large data sets and funding. So I'd like to encourage everyone in the audience to not hesitate to reach out to me, Pallavi, or Sunil after the event or during the event in the chat box. And it is now my pleasure and honor to introduce my boss, the High Commissioner of Canada to India, Cameron McKay, for him to say a few words before we get to the company presentations.
Scott, thanks so much for that introduction, and welcome everyone. I really am so excited to finally see the Canadian Technology Accelerator program come to India. As Scott said, it's been successful in several other markets around the world, starting off in Silicon Valley, Boston, London, New York City, and now finally, over the last year or so here in India. And it's about time, because I think we're such natural technology partners between Canada and India. Canada's got all kinds of strengths in particular areas, and so does India. We need to work better together to find ways to bring that technology to consumers, I think. I know that today we're going to be talking about things like intelligent edge computing, real-time threat monitoring, artificial intelligence and machine learning, Internet of Things, food and supply chain sensing and monitoring, secure invisible ink that's readable by smartphones, for example, 3D printing, and that's just the 7 companies that are involved in the Deep Tech event today. There will be more coming. This is the beginning of the Canadian Technology Accelerator program here in India. So for those of you Indians, venture capitalists, those on the hunt for Canadian technology, please do keep in touch with the Canadian Trade Commissioner Service, Scott, and his successor and his teams, because we've definitely got more coming. So best of luck to everyone today, and thanks very much for allowing me to participate at the beginning of this. Thanks.
Thank you, High Commissioner McKay. We are really honored to have you here today for this event. So as we already might be aware, we'll be starting with the cohort pitch presentations one by one. Before we proceed, allow me to run a poll question, help us identify a little bit more about yourself. And this is, to understand and reach out to you in the coming stages of the programs with partnership perspective. Thank you so much for your answers. I will be now starting and calling out the companies one by one. Starting with the first one of the positive outcomes that we have witnessed post-pandemic is increase in use of digital technologies to sell products and services. On the same time, we have also observed this rise an increase in sales of counterfeited products and services on situations where often customer is unaware of the counterfeiting products that they're buying or using. So use of anti-counterfeiting technologies can enable companies safeguard their products. And one such company is here with us, going to present and start the pitches. May I invite Perry Everett, co-founder, head of product and partnership from Arilla.
So hello, everybody. My name is Perry Everett. I am the co-founder of Arilla, and we protect businesses from counterfeiting. Counterfeiting, of course, is a massive problem faced by many businesses and governments around the world. Not only does it lead to a direct loss in revenue, but it also poses a very serious risk to consumers. And if we look at the pharmaceutical industry as an example, around 1 million people die every year from taking a fake medicine, which is unacceptable. One of the most commonly used technologies to fight counterfeiting is called a security taggant. Taggants are specialty pigments that get applied to the product when it's being manufactured, such that it can be verified and tracked in the market. And to verify the spectrum from a taggant today, you need to use a special device or a special reader of some kind. And that comes with a number of pain points. So first of all, it excludes certain groups like consumers from checking authenticity because they don't have the readers with them. There is the headache and the cost of distributing these devices to everybody that needs them. And in practice, these readers are often lost or broken in the field. And Arilla was founded on the idea that there was an opportunity in this market to create a taggant which could be verified using a smartphone. And so we developed a taggant ink that is used to print invisible, unique codes onto product labels that can be scanned using any mobile phone with our software, thereby eliminating the need for a special device. Our technology has three main components to it. The first is a nanoparticle taggant, which has been designed and is manufactured in-house, that is activated by the flash on the phone camera. That taggant is then mixed into an ink for commercial inkjet printers that are used to print a constellation pattern using our ink. And finally, we have a piece of software that can convert these constellation patterns into a unique serial number, as well as verify the underlying spectrum from the taggant, all through a regular JPEG photo that is taken with the smartphone camera. Our largest customer is the Red Cross, who is using a security label with our technology to protect N95 masks from counterfeiting. Any distributor or frontline worker that receives a Red Cross mask can go to their website to scan the label with their phone as a way of checking the authenticity of their mask. We also have a customer, which is an art gallery in the US, that uses our technology printed on top of a QR code to prevent the code from being copied. The QR code sends the customer to a website, much like with the Red Cross, which the customer can then use to scan the invisible code as a way of checking the authenticity of their artwork. For these and all of our customers, Arilla provides two key things. The first is the finished label with the invisible code. These labels are produced by authorized printing partners who license the technology from Arilla to print these invisible codes onto the labels as they are being produced. The second thing we provide is the software that is needed to read the invisible code. An important point to make here is that we are different from a QR code, which you can read with the native camera app on your phone. The photo needs to be processed by our software for verification. And we offer a number of options to use that software. We can provide our customer with a URL similar to what you saw with the Red Cross. We can provide a dedicated WhatsApp number. And by texting that number with an image of the product, the system will then text you back to say if that item is authentic. And we can also provide our API so the customer can build their own app or website. Our position in the market is fairly simple in that we are the only digital taggant provider that can be verified with a phone. The technology was built by my partners and I, Ben and Graham. We launched the business in Toronto and we now have offices around the world. Our background is strictly in the field of nanotechnology, where we previously worked or did research at places like MIT, Chevron, and the University of Waterloo. And finally, we are backed by a number of private investors such as Zappos.com, the Loro Piana family office, as well as Y Combinator. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and I would welcome any questions over the Q&A part of Zoom. Thank you.
Thank you very so much, and I wish you all the very best and all the good success coming your way as we embark upon your Indian journey. This brings me to a second participant, which operates into intelligent real-time threat prevention with a team of committed scientists solving together for advanced security threats to protect enterprises, governments, and managed security service providers. Let's hear from Dr. Hongwen Zhang, CEO and CTO of Wedge Networks, who's also joined by Hussam Kinvi, President and Chief Scientist, co-founder of Wedge Networks.
Great. Thank you, Pallavi. Good morning. My name is Hongwen Zhang. I'm joined here today with my co-founder, Dr. Hussam Kinvi. We are classmates in computer science program, PhD program. So two scientists here founded Wedge Networks. Every day, we are moving deeper into the digital world. However, this is a very dangerous world. Why? Because this new world is full of cracks. Those cracks are due to how this world is pieced together. For example, on the left-hand side of the charts, as you can see, each day, there are 200,000 vulnerabilities reported. And each of the vulnerability can be exploited by hackers. And on the right-hand side is a list of some of the most actively exploited vulnerabilities. For example, the Log4j vulnerability that was really the headline news caused a lot of damages. So basically every day we are being bombarded with bad news about cyber breaches. You know why? Because there are so many cracks. It seems that no matter how big your cyber budget is, you can get hacked. Just think about the cyber breaches in major governments, multinationals, and some of the largest utility companies in the world. You may ask why this is the case. The main reason is our current strategy of detection and remediation is not working. So the current strategy is not working. First, there are more than 400,000 new malwares each day, and most of them pass through your signature-based defense system. Secondly, to accommodate the lack of real-time prevention, and firms are panicking and logging lots of events, and which cause tremendous amount of security event workload. Third, when the threat is eventually detected, it's often too late. Here comes Wedge Networks. Our mission is to change this losing picture by focusing on or in real-time threat prevention, basically intelligent real-time threat prevention. Wedge Networks is based in Calgary, Canada. Our technology platform has many patents, and it is supported by a very strong research and development engineering team, and also supported by several leading universities in Canada. The map on the right-hand side, the red maple leaf dots represent some of our current deployment in the global. We are deployed in 23 regions, protecting just under 100 million endpoints. We have engagement, support, and sales in multiple regions. And it's very exciting for us here to present to the colleagues in India, because we believe this is a great market, and we want to actually form partners to be able to support customers here. So you may ask, why should you work with Wedge? Remember what I just said? The current cybersecurity strategy does not work. Wedge offers a fundamentally different strategy, and it's a better strategy, which is really the intelligent real-time threat prevention. Before I go too deep into this, let me just expand what the current strategy is. On the left-hand side, as you can see, the sandbox represents the current strategy, right? You can load a piece of unknown software and watch how it will behave. Let's say you load this unknown software on your laptop, and if the software encrypted your laptop, then you know this is ransomware. Well, you have a victory trophy for identified a ransomware, but at the same time, you have all your computer damaged. That's why the current strategy doesn't work. Detection, remediation does not work. Wedge's strategy is like a filter system. With advanced machine learning and AI, we can filter out advanced attacks, including those never before seen malware, those 400,000 new malwares each day, and to prevent them to ever reaching your endpoints. So you can enjoy the safe and secure computing, or safe and secure driving if you are driving an autonomous vehicle on the road. So this is a very critical and fundamentally different strategy there. And I don't have much time to talk about how it works. And I look forward to opportunity to sit down with you to go through these charts, these graphs here. And needless to say, the market is growing very rapidly for real-time threat prevention. I mentioned the connected vehicles, and also there are smart cities. Everyone knows that 5G is about real-time, introducing latency into milliseconds. And how about newly emerged metaverse? When you have augmented reality, any cyber attack could actually cause fatal mistakes there. So these are the emerging market real-time threat prevention can be applied. And some of our recent global tractions in the Q1, Q2 this year, and very prestigious partners. So why are we here today? We are here to look for partnerships with managed service providers. If you are a managed service provider, you are looking to increase your monthly revenue, and Wedge is a partner for you. Thank you, everyone. And here are some of the customer and the leading analysts and the leading industry associations testimonial statement. And I look forward to talk with you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Hongpen, and all the best. And I would again request audience, if you have any questions specific to companies as they are presenting, please feel free to write those in the chat. And we'll be happy to take some of those, towards the end of the session as time permits us. Next, I am going to be talking about the third company, which is here to present. Much talked about AI technologies. This has been evolving for over 60 years and now playing a transformational role in operational, functional, and strategic landscapes within various industry sectors. Talking about how use of a unique production machine learning platform can fast track the products to the market. We'll now hear it from Amit Verma, co-founder of BrainJoy. Over to you, Amit. Can you share your screen and present?
Thank you, Pallavi. And am I audible and visible?
Yes, very well.
So folks, my name is Amit Verma. I'm one of the co-founders of BrainJoy. And what is the first thought that comes on your mind when you hear about AI and machine learning? It is very complex, it is very confusing, and very expensive. You need to have an army of data scientists, cloud developers, and PhD in computer science to build and deploy AI. No wonder 90% of the AI projects never see production use. But AI is actually not all that complex. It is just like cooking. It's a procedure. You bring some groceries from the grocery store, you clean them up, you cook them, you taste it, and then you serve it in a dish. And artificial intelligence is just like that. You bring some data, you clean it up, you make some data sets, you make some machine learning models, you test the models or evaluate the performance, and then you deploy the models to production. Now, to work in this kitchen, which BrainToy is, you don't need to be a microwave engineer in order to use the microwave. And that is the philosophy of BrainToy. BrainToy took it one step ahead. The kitchen is not just a commercial kitchen, it is like a food truck. This food truck can be parked anywhere. It can cook any kind of dish. Today, I can configure my food truck to cook Indian food. Tomorrow, I can configure it to cook Mexican food. Now, BrainToy's technology is a production machine learning platform. It is the only technology in the world to have a data-independent machine learning pipe for any data type, whether it be tabular data, time series data, natural language processing data, or vision data. It flows through the same pipe repeatedly again and again. It also has a very intuitive operating system style interface. So if you used Apple or if you used Windows, you can use BrainToy MLOS without any training. There is no coding required. But coders still enjoy full control. And that is the power, because not just the 1% of your people, but your people across the organization can now use machine learning for work. BrainToy is also the only technology with the automated model governance workflow. And it can be deployed anywhere. Our cloud, your cloud, on-prem, it doesn't matter. Just like a food truck. As compared to other tools, BrainToy has a few differences. Now, you must know all these tools which are available in the market. The first thing is that they are very expensive. I mean, if you want to deploy SaaS or Google or Azure, you need to invest at least $500,000 to $1 million just to get it running. Second is that you need technical skills. People who are non-coders just can't use these tools, and it needs data science skills. Third is that model governance is not built into any of these tools. And that is becoming a very, very important issue in artificial intelligence. You need to be able to govern your models before you deploy them. As against all these tools, BrainToy MLOS is the only technology that can handle any data type. It can be deployed anywhere, doesn't need any coding skills, and also comes with automated governance, which offers a big advantage to you. We started in 2018, so it's been a few years, and we have evolved with clients. We started in Canada with a lot of Canadian clients in the software, internet, oil and gas, supply chain. Then we moved on and we also entered into AI education. Last year, we entered the German manufacturing industry, and this was in advanced manufacturing. And this year, we really hope that we can expand our business to India. And I'm looking to your help on that. This is one of our clients who made a quote. Now, Two Hat Security is a client which does content moderation for Facebook, Twitter, social media. Now you can imagine how many models they built. Thousands and thousands of models. And not only models, each one of these models has to be customized for every client. How do you build thousands of models? How do you manage thousands of models? They had this problem. After deploying MLOS, they were able to easily build, manage, and deploy those models to production with absolute certainty. So in summary, I would say AI isn't complex, confusing, and costly with the right tools. If you only have the right tool, anyone in your organization can deploy AI. Now, I was born in India and I moved to Canada. So I call India as my second home. And my hope is, and my ask of you is to get us to India. I will be thoroughly grateful. Shukriya.
Thank you, Amit. That was really, really interesting. And I think you're one of the participants. You're already bombarded with a lot of questions in the chat section. Feel free to answer them as you go. And now I'll be taking a little detour from the pitch presentations. And before I announce that, Prashant, can we run the poll here for the participants who have presented? Thank you for your answers. With great pleasure, I now invite Mr. Sunil Lalwani, who is VP Enterprise Business at Zoho Corporation and serving as the lead mentor and advisor to this CTA cohort. Please welcome Sunil.
Thank you, Pallavi. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, very well, very well.
Yeah.
So, Sunil, how about we start with a little, I request you to take you a minute and, introduce yourself with the audience that are there. I know some of them are already aware of, they know about you, but yeah.
No, absolutely, Pallavi. Thank you. So, firstly, I'd like to thank and good morning to the High Commissioner as well as the Trade Commissioner's Office, Government of Canada, and good morning to all our attendees from India, because I know it's a morning start on a working day, so I truly appreciate all of you taking the time and joining. And I'll be amiss if I don't thank our Canadian friends on the call, the companies, because I know it's late evening for many of you, especially back in Toronto. So truly appreciate this. Quick introduction for me. Actually, before I talk about introduction, I think I am possibly the only one, if I can take the liberty of saying so. I have a unique advantage on this call. I've been honored by the Canadian Trade Commissioner's Office to be appointed as the lead mentor for this program. So that's given me an opportunity to engage very closely with all the 7 companies you'll be hearing from today. Of course, it's a journey that we've begun. There'll be a lot more engagements that we'll have. But I've also had the privilege of knowing many of you attendees from India who are on the call. Many of you who I invited personally, some of you maybe I couldn't reach out to, but appreciate the outreach from Scott's office to invite you for this. The reason we did this is that it's a journey that we are starting on and embarking on with the 7 companies identified as part of the first cohort. And if you notice, as we go through the program today, you'll notice that the technology areas that you hear are fairly diverse. They touch upon almost every segment or every vertical, and in many cases, there is by diverse technologies framework as well. And hence, we're looking, like Amit correctly said, as yourselves as technology and business leaders, we are even open to your input, suggestions on partnership models. Some of it you may want to deploy it in your own organization, but some of you may have innovative thoughts on how to partner with some of the companies you're hearing from. So like Hong Wen said, the managed service provider space is growing in India. So that's an area also we'll be open to discussing. Feel free to reach out to Pallavi, the Zinnov team, or myself, and then we can help you with the direct connects as well. So like I said, one of the advantages I have on this call is not only knowing Canadian companies who are part of this cohort, engaging closely with Scott and the Trade Commission's Office, engaging with Zinnov, and engaging with all of you. One of the things that I feel personally, having worked with a company like BlackBerry, a Canadian company for many years, and currently I work with Zoho as the Vice President for Enterprise Sales, I found in my experience of, now close to 20, 27, 28 years, as my gray hair shows, one of the things that is very important when we look at working with a technology partner or working with an overseas company is the cultural fitment and the trust element as well. So the cultural alignment and the ethical alignment becomes very, very critical when you're talking about emerging technologies, deep technologies, or partnership models. And that's where I feel that, having an advantage of working with BlackBerry for so many years, having engaged closely with various Canadian companies, including the 7 you're hearing from today, I can vouch for the fact that, there will be a significant cultural fitment. Two of the founders you'll hear from today, Amit, you already heard from, are Indians by origin as well. But all 7 when I've engaged with, I found that the cultural fitment into the India ecosystem can be pretty seamless. And, again, gone are those days as technology leaders. I'm sure you all will agree with me that gone are those days where there's a standard line saying that, take a single vendor adoption strategy. Nobody ever gets fired for buying IBM or buying Cisco, etc. Gone are those days. This is the age of startups. You get a chance to evaluate the technology framework. You get a chance to integrate, run a POC. I'm not saying for all these companies, but certain areas we can work on together for you to evaluate the technology and work in a partnership mode and explore it as well. So I'll just pause here at this stage, Pallavi, and any questions, I would also request, I noticed on the chat that there are some questions being posted on the chat window and some in the Q&A. My only request to all attendees, if we can post it on the Q&A, that way, the participants from the 7 companies will not miss out any questions. But even if we do miss out, we will make sure that we send out a response to all of you. So I'll pause here at this stage, Pallavi, and anything else that you want me to cover.
Right. Thank you, Sunil. That is so very well shared. I just wanted to touch on, one of the things that we were discussing, the earlier day, that with companies specializing across deep tech as a technology, their offerings, tend to become sector agnostic at some or the other level. So you think that there are some industry sectors which have higher relevance than the others when it comes to the Indian landscape? I mean, from the lens of prioritizing the application sector specifically, what are your thoughts? And so far, the experience in the program, how do you, see the relevance here? I mean, some thoughts there.
Yeah. That's a good question, Pallavi. I mean, like I said, we've started this journey only a few months ago, so it keeps evolving as I engage more and more with the members of this cohort. But from my personal experience, again, having engaged a lot with the corporate CIOs, enterprises in India, even business leaders, even marketing leaders, etc. From what I see in the landscape of the 7 companies is that it can kind of touch upon almost every sector in the India market, ranging from telecom and IT, banking, finance, manufacturing in a big way. We haven't heard yet on the 3D printing part that Dice Design will cover in a bit. But I found even within manufacturing sub-segments like auto, which is growing in India, India now is the 3rd largest auto component manufacturing industry in the world. I mean, overall automobile industry is booming here for export market as well. So when you find a technology area like 3D printing, I know there are few vendors of 3D printing, but when you hear of Dice Design and the applicability of it within manufacturing and sub-segment of manufacturing of, say, automotive can be significant. I just picked on one, not to say that the others aren't critical, but medical device is another one. Food processing, when you hear from Servometrics, when you hear from Veg, you've already heard from Veg. Again, security is inherent in everything that we all do across all these enterprises. And Mimic, when you hear of what Mimic has, again, I won't steal Sam's thunder here, but the kind of applicability of these kind of technologies, like what Mimic is bringing, cuts across almost every sector. When you talk about, maybe I'll spend 30 seconds on this. We talk about edge network engines, and when Sam and a few of us were having a chat a few weeks ago, we do know that 5G networks, while there is a talk about auctioning happening and rollout of 5G networks, may still be a time away. We do have a scenario where India's got possibly the largest smartphone penetration in the world after China. We do have certain throughput challenges on 4G networks even now in India. But the end devices, even not only just smartphones or tablets, I'm talking about every end IoT device is getting more and more processor stronger in terms of processing capabilities. Now, that gives an advantage to a company like Mimic to talk about the edge network engines and how that could provide the ability for all of you on this call to use that technology more effectively rather than having to rely on a backhaul network, face latency issues, etc. So again, when I got into this program and engaged with all 7, I just felt sky's the limit in terms of all 7 of them being able to cut across so many vertical sectors, so many industries. So I hope that answers your question, Pallavi.
Absolutely, Sunil. And I think that is a great way, to put it. Thank you so much. I'll be bothering you again, towards the end to take up the questions from the chat.
Happy to do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pallavi. Thank you.
Resuming back to our pitches and drawing again something from that Sunil just shared, that talking about the future of industrial manufacturing, the sector is now incomplete without 3D printing. Moving from prototyping only technologies to end-to-end production lines, it is scaling upwards towards industrialization. This brings me to our next venture, which is Dice Design. I will now invite Simon, co-founder and CMO of the company, to take the stage and share about his company. Hi, Simon.
Hi, Pallavi. Thank you. Am I audible? Yeah?
Yes.
Good. All right. So good morning, everyone. So I'm Simon. I'm co-founder of Dice Design. We're based in Montreal, and we design and manufacture extrusion system for 3D printers. Some of you might not be familiar with 3D printing, and more specifically, what we call the FDM process. So a FDM 3D printer basically works by depositing melted material over a build platform, layer by layer, until you have a completed part. It's really a wonderful manufacturing process due to its wide range of materials available, its scalability, but also its impressive cost to size ratio. But at the same time, FDM 3D printing suffers. Let's say that it suffers from quality and reliability problems. And on top of that, FDM 3D printing is a slower production process. It's so slow that sometimes it's repelling to many industrial companies that are unfortunately turning their back on a technology they could use and benefit from for any complicated designs or prototyping with multiple iterations. In fact, the problem is that the core part of the printer, what we call the extrusion system, is a very complex and technical component. And that component requires a lot of expertise, time, and money. But most 3D printer manufacturers don't have enough resources to excel in every aspect of their 3D printer machine. So the low investment in this core component, the extrusion system, leads to stagnant design and a lack of innovation. And everything remains quite simple mechanical systems where it's not really possible to obtain any information about the printing process itself. That's where we come into play. Dice design is unlocking the potential of the extrusion process and FDM 3D printing to ensure reliability and quality in any FDM process. Since its beginning, our company has always been solely focused on developing cutting-edge extrusion system for 3D printers. And to be clear, we do not make 3D printers, but we manufacture and sell the core and critical part to 3D printer manufacturers around the world. Choosing our component is an economical way to delegate this component, save time and R&D efforts. And while Dice Design invests more resources and focus only on extrusion system, our product becomes better and better. And today we can say that we can print any type of polymer on the market. We can print faster than any regular extrusion system, and we can do all that more precisely. And being experts in extrusion systems and focusing in the extrusion process lets us to innovate in that field. We can say that we're now adding sensors and getting data out of the FDM printing process. And to better understand how our products unlock 3D printing potential, here are some real life numbers. As you can see, with our systems, we're able to print more than 9 times faster, turning a 16-hour job into one that takes about 1 hour. Our business model is quite simple. We're an OEM, so we basically sell components to 3D printer manufacturers. We like to say that we want to make Dice Design the Intel inside of 3D printers. And today, Dice is the dedicated supplier of more than 25 3D printer brands worldwide, resulting in more than 30,000 products installed all around the world. This traction led us to generate 1.2 million in revenue last year and almost double our revenue each year for the last 3 years. Nowadays, only a few players still specialize in the extrusion system like we do. Most of the other OEMs either solely target desktop printers or they only offer part of the extrusion system. And as for the few companies who also manufacture industrial systems, they are in a weird spot. Many of them are competing with their own customers by also selling printers of their own making. So we stand out by being the only ones who have a really wide range of both desktop and industrial products, and our focus on sensors and embedded electronics will only widen that gap. We're truly the one-stop shop in our field. Dice Design was born in 2015. We're 4 co-founders, Max, Phil, Jean-Sébastien, and me. And today, we can now count on our board to ensure good governance and challenge our decisions. But Dice Design is much more than 4 co-founders. It's a team of 25 dedicated people, as well as many partners that helped us throughout the years. And today, we're looking to grow our sales by integrating our components in basically Indian printer manufacturers or any robotic arm integrators. And also, we'd like to demonstrate our expertise by building meaningful use case with large corporation that could use basically FDM 3D printing. And we'll look kindly to any form of help to or introduction on that front. To summarize everything, Dice Design is a growing team led by competent and complementary founders who are supported by 2 accelerators, a board, and many partners. We make deep tech products that has reached product market fit, which is validated by worldwide sales in a high growth market. And the proceeds from those sales allowed us to grow organically for the last 6 years while progressing steadily towards a clear vision using a well-rounded strategy. So again, my name is Simon from Dice Design. We make extrusion systems that push the boundaries of additive manufacturing to make it viable for industrial application. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you so much. This was really interesting. And I think I would again request the audience to direct your questions in the chat window or Q&A window towards Simon. And before I invite next, Prashant, can we have the poll questions here? So next is the company with specialization in IoT and AI solutions across several industries, including intelligent safety monitoring, smart living for elderly, indoor and outdoor location monitoring, fleet management, and much more. The company serves customers in transportation providers, municipalities, schools, and telecom service provider space. And it has also worked with a couple of projects from state government of India. I would like to welcome Amit Anand, founder of Easy En Route, and take the stage, share about his company. Hi, Amit.
Hello, Pallavi. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. All the best.
I'm very positive you all must be very familiar of these types of circumstances, whether in your own family or you know of someone where you have heard a story, an elderly had a fall and there was no help in a timely fashion, or your loved one, just as my own wife, work out on a remote site by herself, and there is no intelligent remote monitoring system. If an unfortunate incident occurs, would call it for a help, or have heard a story where a child, your very precious cargo that was on a school bus, got dropped off at the incorrect stop, and no one has no knowledge of the whereabouts of that particular child, and frustrated by the municipal workers leaving the garbage outside or not getting collected. So how do we create a visibility of all these invisible circumstances, unfortunate circumstances, in a timely manner, so we can help the citizens of that particular community, their daily living much better? So where we come into play is applying the smart technology to improve the daily lives of every citizen within that city, and hence our focus is always solving a citizen-centric issues. Good morning, everyone in India. My name is Amit Anand. I'm the founder of company Easy En Route, based out of Edmonton. So how do we really achieve all of this outcomes at the end of the day? What we have done within our own companies, we have taken a holistic approach, not just the software itself or the firmware on the hardware or the hardware itself. We have taken a holistic approach where we have developed an intelligent algorithms, a hardware that we have designed all in-house, combined with the power of the software to achieve those outcomes that we have just outlined in the previous slide. That we take the sensor data out of the hardware, gets processed locally, enable a better decision making using the Internet of Things and applying artificial intelligence and machine learning on top of that data that's get collected in real time, every nano or microsecond, which is completely configurable. I'm very proud to say, actually, all of our research and development and the manufacturing of our hardware is done locally in India itself. So we are very proud of our India team to achieve this feat. The other key differentiator from our technology offering perspective is we have our proprietary patented signal processing technology that enables to take the signals from whether a single omnidirectional antenna or a multi-directional antenna, and able to process the location within an indoor setting, allowing that bringing that GPS capability that we currently see in an outdoor setting, in an indoor setting with much more precision and accuracy, hence able to track and monitor that individual person or an asset, or whether the garbage is collected in a timely fashion or not. This does not rely on any cell connectivity or a satellite connectivity, so on and so forth. This truly is based on device to device communication, then where we apply the machine learning concepts on top of that to provide that really finite amount of data, enabling a better and faster decision-making process. Talking about our student monitoring, so how does it work? So we have an end-to-end portal that we have end-to-end portal that have multiple components to it. We have an intelligent parent app. We have a driver application that provides a device-to-device connectivity with the sensors that the student is carrying. Again, there is no manual intervention required. The monitoring of the students is hyper-local, and it is relevant only where it's been authorized to. So there are no privacy issues around that. Talking about the India market size, based on a survey, there are over 100 million students that take school buses, and we are working with a lot of schools in India market right now where they are currently using a technology. So we have already commercialized this technology in the India market segment. Moving on to the intelligent safety wearable, we are really proud of this particular application that we have developed. For this application, our company was also recognized by NASA as well as one of the top 10 finalists the competition in year 2020. What we have really done is taken the edge processing of the artificial intelligence inside the wearable itself that enables the decision making and event tracking in much more real time, whether it's a fall detection, whether it's a not in motion alert. And on top of that, we have also deployed a voice bot, which automatically classifies the threat level based on the conversations that are happening in that particular moment. So all of these events are occurring in a completely autonomous fashion where there is no movement required. Imagine a person having a stroke and they had a fall. We cannot rely on that person to press the button or SOS to call for help. Everything happens automatically. The authorities are alerted in real time, and hence we can save the life of that person. And again, looking at the India market sites, there are over 100 million lone workers that could leverage this technology, and 75 million people with the age 65 plus in the India market segment itself. We can really revolutionize and provide the safety with our current device. On the other hand, we are currently working with actually about 5 municipalities in India itself that are leveraging our technology in the smart city space, providing the real-time monitoring and the transparency of the garbage collection services that was not possible prior to our technology itself. Currently, the pilot programs are ranging from 50 households to over 2,500 and increasing. And we are in talks with other municipalities that would like to deploy this technology within their own jurisdiction. Again, removing the frustration of the citizens itself, creating a direct connectivity with the citizens. And the long-term plan is to enable and deliver all the services within this smart city portal application and not just the garbage collection activity. Hence, creating that direct-to-direct communication and holding the service provider accountable. So that's what we're looking at in the India market segments. Again, there are over 200 cities that are mandated with this daily garbage collection activities, and we are working with 5 states right now and looking to scale this deployment of our application in the coming months and coming years. This has not been possible without a stellar team. We have 2 more co-founders, Manish, who has over 30 years of technology experience, and another co-founder that is based out of India. So we have a local presence. We have boots on the ground in India as well. There are other public companies and other that been backing us in our journey. TELUS, Microsoft, the Canadian federal government, and other accelerators. And we're also blessed by having a strong industry-led board members on our company itself, guiding us throughout our journey. From a traction summary perspective, within the company, we have major pilots happening. We have signed major deals, collaboration deals with other service providers that would take a technology, integrate within their own product offering and service to the end clients. As mentioned before, we were one of the top 10 finalists for our AI development. We won an award from a TELUS, which is a telco provider, just like Vodafone or Airtel in India, as one of their IoT incubator program. And we've been also selected at the other accelerator programs here in Canada itself. This has been our traction, our timeline since when the idea was incepted back in 2016. So we really spent time getting our technology perfected. We have worked with companies like Qualcomm and in a similar capacity, companies out of Switzerland, to really understand the technology spectrum and providing our technology expertise to get to the state where we can commercialize the technology in today's state. So in current year, we're really looking to scale our company in other regions. These are some of the feedback, the compliments that we got from our current clients, making their lives better, providing the peace of mind that one would like to achieve at the end of the day by adopting a new technology. And that's what we're really after, really providing the technology in the palm of the hands of every citizen to make their lives better. And what our ask is, again, of course, we are a startup company, we're looking to raise the funds, but really with the India segment through this forum, we are looking for strategic partnerships, could be on the technology side, on the system integrator side, and further, collaborating with other partners like telcos and other service providers or the auto sector, taking our technology in combining with theirs and implementing in each and every household in the India market segment. With that, I would really like to thank you, the CTA, Scott, Pallavi, Sunil, and the whole gang for mentoring us and providing this great, awesome opportunity. And thank you all for attending this awesome webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amit, so much. I think we have already questions pouring in for you. And with this, we have a poll question with the audience, if you can answer these for us. Next is with disruptive technology that decentralizes the cloud, enabling all computing devices to act as servers to improve performance and efficiency. Our next participant is targeting and actively serving customers across health tech, fintech, automotive, and telecom sector. Let's hear it from our leading women in tech. Please welcome Sam Armani, SVP Business Development, Mimic. Sam, hi. Please share screen.
Thank you so much, Pallavi. Let me just try to share my screen here. All right. Let me put it on let me know if you see my screen.
Yes, very well.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much, everyone. My name is Sam Armani. I'm SVP Business Development at Mimic. It's a pleasure to be here and have the opportunity to share a little bit about our company with you all. Mimic is all about reimagining the cloud by enabling all the end nodes, as Sunil highlighted earlier. And by end nodes, I'm referring to your mobile phone, laptop, to all the IoT devices, headless devices. So any compute that is available on the edge that is running applications, we're bringing all of that as part of the cloud in order for these devices to be able to now participate and act as cloud servers. So we're a later stage or more mature startup. We've been around for just over a decade. We have established market traction. We have customers that either have developed applications and services using our platform or are in the process of. We have an experienced team with proven track record who held various C-level executive roles at Fortune 500 companies, such as Vodafone, AT&T, VMware, Microsoft, Google, Intel, just to name a few. And our product and technology obviously is commercial ready, fully patented, and is available for anyone who's developing applications simply in any industry segment to use it today in order to develop their application in an end-to-end microservice architecture. So even though our technology can be applied anywhere, these are the 4 strategic industry sectors that we either have engagements in today or we have customers who build solutions: telco, smart mobility, automotive, health and wellness, and fintech. We have a proven go-to-market approach, and partnerships play a huge role in our go-to-market. Today, we have 6 tier 1 system integrators that we have partnered with. To give you 2 examples, Wipro and Arihant, who in fact are in India, we have been deeply engaged with them. Wipro heavily on the automotive side. In fact, I'm in Nashville right now as I was invited by Wipro to be here as part of the Automotive News Congress that happened here today. And then we have 12 technology partners such as IBM and AWS and amongst many others. We have 16 enterprises who have built solutions using our platform or are in the process of, and 5 startups who developed their solution from scratch using our platform. So what is the problem that we're solving? To put it simply, the way all the applications are working today, whether it's on your mobile device or on IoT devices, you have a very light agent that is running on these devices, and then the entire business logic behind this is running somewhere on the cloud. So the way things work is that the entire data set from these devices goes through multiple layers of network to the cloud and back. And each layer is introducing some latency, is introducing data privacy and security issues. It's very costly in terms of cost of cloud, cost of bandwidth usage, cost of energy and hardware, and of course, cost of moving the data, which is quite expensive. So all in all is inefficient, is expensive, and it's not scalable. And then when you're looking at all of the edge devices or the end nodes, whether it's mobile devices and laptops or headless devices like IoT devices, you see that year over year, these devices are becoming more and more powerful in terms of their compute. So the question becomes, why not leveraging the power of these devices in order to bring some of the processing down to these devices? So what is the solution that we are offering? If you look at the applications, the way they've been developed in the old days or the so-called legacy applications, you had a light agent on the front-end device or front-end application, and then you had a monolith backend. In the so-called modern applications, you still have a light client running here on the front end, even though these devices are a lot more powerful than they were before. But then the backend has evolved to serverless microservice architecture. Now, what Mimic enables is a much balanced approach of putting microservices on the front-end application as well as the backend or anywhere in between. So simply using our platform, the app developer is now able to fully distribute the workload from all the way from the front-end application to the backend, which is the cloud. So this way, instead of running the entire intelligence on the cloud, you're running part of it on the front-end applications where the data source is, and you're sitting as close as possible to the application demand. And you're converting the data from unstructured to structured right at the data source and only sending what's meaningful to the cloud or other systems. So by doing this, you're really turning or enabling all these devices to act as cloud servers. And what happens now is that you're moving from the left-hand side, which is a fully centralized model and is what's available today, to the right-hand side, which is a hybrid model of enabling all these devices to act as cloud servers, process some functions locally, and also create ad hoc service mesh at the application layer, and for them to talk in a peer-to-peer fashion based on the application policy, and only go to the cloud when it's absolutely necessary. And by doing this, now you have a much cheaper, faster, resilient, private, and greener solution, and with much less data transfer to the cloud. And our leadership team, again, they're coming from telco, application development, API, chip. Siavash Alamuti, our executive chairman, he's known for the invention of Alamuti code, which is something that is used in billions of wireless devices today. He was the ex-Intel CTO of Mobility, Intel Fellow, ex-R&D Group Director at Vodafone, executive EVP at Wells Fargo. Our founder and CEO, Feya Jamandi, he was named as the Edge Woman of the Year last year. She won so many awards. She was the one who basically built the second brand of Vodafone in Silicon Valley. Michel Berger, our CTO, he's a TM Forum Fellow because 120 operators around the world are using the APIs that he has defined. He was the ex-CTO of communication at Microsoft, Apigee, Google. Our CFO, Ram Aluri, is coming from Intel. One of our latest board members is Kathy Wood. She's a star in Wall Street, has many followers. She was the early investor in Tesla, in Bitcoin. In fact, Mimic is the first private company that she's sitting on the board and has invested her own personal money simply because she believes in the vision and the roadmap of what we have built and building. These are some of the awards and recognitions just in the past 2-3 years. We are part of 5G Open Innovation Lab. We've been covered as part of the Gartner Hype Cycle for the past 3 years. We were part of the top 50 edge companies, STL partners, amongst many others. Just last week, we announced our partnership with Business and Decision, a subsidiary of Orange Group. There was a news release around that. And in fact, there will be a couple of news releases coming up next week and the following weeks about our engagement with Wipro in India. So we are looking to expand in Indian market. We already have established engagements. In fact, we are looking to open an entity, Mimic India, and we're looking to hire talent over there. We believe in the Indian market. We love to expand, and we're looking to your help in order to do that. I really appreciate your time. I know the time is limited. I love to get into more on the business and technology side, but you know where to find me. I'd be happy to get on a call with you if you're interested to learn more, and you can find me. This is my email, and I'm on LinkedIn and Pallavi Scott. Everyone knows my contact information. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a beautiful Thursday on your side.
Thank you, Sam. That's really impressive. And I see a couple of questions coming your way. Please feel free to answer them. And this brings us to our final participant, which is a recognized MNC serving customers globally with various awards and recognition achieved in Canada and abroad in sustainable technology development space. This company is enabling smarter procurement, smarter inventory movement, and smarter software across food and agri-tech sector. Please welcome Harjeet Bajaj, CEO of the company, also joined by Rob Sinyard, SVP, Business Development and Operations at Sabermetric. Hi, Harj.
Hi, Pallavi. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you share your screen?
Yes. Perfect. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Pallavi, and the rest of the CTA team. I'm Harjeet Bajaj, President and CEO of Sabermetrics. At Sabermetrics, we have been working pretty hard over the course of the last 5 years of our existence in developing something that was missing in the food and ag sector, and that we found to be real-time QA/QC devices, so quality assurance, quality control. Our company is defined by this definition, and for those that are baseball fans, it's actually a play on sabermetrics, which is the baseball term for using baseball player data to make smart business decisions. Similarly to that here, we're using data that we're pulling, biochemical and biophysical data from food items themselves, to allow our customers to make smart growing, smart procurement, smart inventory movement and processing and selling type decisions. These numbers are well known, commonly seen, that 1/3 of all food is wasted globally, irrespective of what part of the world your country is in. Typically, that number is there. So 1/3 is wasted. Of that, 15 to 20% of inventory is wasted by industry. So by industry, I mean growers, distributors, food processors, and retailers. So think of that 15 to 20% of food inventory being wasted. Very few industries can actually tolerate that. So yes, these industries work on a very tight margin. And all of that is due to poor quality assurance, quality control. So meaning think of distributors, processors, retailers, and even growers harvesting by touching, feeling, squeezing. Distributors and processors making decisions on how to move their inventory from one stage to the other, again, just based on human eyesight or an expert within.
Harj, you have to scroll down as you speak because this is a PDF version and we are not able to look at the rest of the pages.
Oh no, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So please keep scrolling down as you speak. Yes.
Can you see the slides? What slide is up for you guys?
We are looking at the title slide. That this is what I am looking at. Prashant, are you able to see anything?
No, Harjeet, you need to just scroll down.
Scroll down, yes.
Okay, can you see anything else as I'm scrolling? No.
No, would you mind sharing again? And close the other file that is open. Just open this. Yes, this is perfect.
Okay,
please
so let me leave it.
Harj, and keep scrolling as you go.
Okay? Yeah.
Perfect. I'll leave it in this sort of format here, so I won't do full screen. Okay, so this is a slide I was on. I was on the second slide where I was talking about the amount of waste within the industry being 15 to 20%. And most of it is due to the fact that there are no real-time quality assurance, quality control systems that the industry can use to make decisions on moving inventory or processing the inventory. Okay, that in itself is a $60 billion market opportunity. The opportunity of supplying quality assurance and quality control devices. Now, this is our solution. Three-part solution. We have state-of-the-art sensors that are patent protected. These are ultra low-cost sensors that operate in the infrared, so near, short wavelength, and far infrared range. These sensors, tabletop or in line, you see a couple of examples there of our sensors, and then we also have clip-on smartphone sensors as well. Pick up the biochemical, biophysical features, and those features are then ported via the cloud to our AI engine. Our AI engine, which we call Dr. Sam, analyzes the data and then provides insightful output to our decision support software. The output provided are not just detection oriented, so we're not just picking up defects that we're seeing or chemicals we're seeing or pathogens we're seeing, we're predicting. So for retailers, we're able to predict shelf life. We can predict how long a produce is going to survive. Is it close to senescence, which is end of life of a produce? So in that case, depending on the amount of shelf life remaining, you can make a decision on where to sell the inventory. In other cases, with food processors, we're detecting quality drift. So we're not just detecting the quality defects in real time, but we're predicting what is going to happen to that to the quality as the food item continues to be processed. If there's a drift, you might want to change your processing parameters a certain way to minimize inventory loss. Okay? That's basically in a nutshell how we function and the sort of insights we provide to our customers, that allows them to save up to 70% of inventory loss. So it makes us quite popular with our customers. The other thing that makes us quite popular with our customers is our business model. We don't charge for the hardware. We charge a subscription fee for the insights that we're providing. So they pay the AI software subscription fee. And there too, it's value-based pricing. For some of our customers, it's as low as $1,000 per year in subscription fee cost. And for other customers, up to $24,000 a year. A lot of our customers are, yes, Fortune 500 customers that we provide our devices to. But as of 2 years ago, we have started providing our devices to the smaller players as well, the small and medium-sized enterprises. When we started out in this area, we have to be honest, within our team, we had a lot of experience in the food and ag industry because of the sort of work that we were doing in the past and the sort of companies we've worked for in the past. Now, we had a good sense of what the industry needed. So when we built our device out, it wasn't by chance that we hit on all of these metrics listed at the top, these 7 attributes that make us very competitive. The device had to be ultra affordable because of the purchasing power, or the sort of margins that companies were working with. Non-destructive, meaning the samples would not require any sort of preparation. Real-time in situ results. They did not want to wait 2 or 3 days for the results to come in. No sample prep, so meaning no chemicals used, no blending, nothing. So raw samples being placed in front of our sensors. They wanted a 6-month payback period. They wanted predictive metrics, and they wanted it to be accurate and precise at the same time. So as you can see, we checkmark all of those, and who we compete against are lab testing or near infrared devices. And in many cases, we're competing against manual inspection. The environmental impact side of things is very important for us. As an organization, we function at the board level with 2 major KPIs, areas of KPIs. One is the financial ROI, and the other is the social ROI. From a social ROI standpoint, measuring the sort of impact that we're having on the environment is important for us and for our board. We do reduce food wastage by up to 70%. So that's a massive impact on a reduction on GHG and also a 20 to 30% reduction in the amount of energy and other energy consuming type resources used by our customers. So it makes us quite popular within certain circles, and we've won quite a number of awards that have highlighted the sort of impact that we've made. And again, to further accentuate that, yes, reducing food waste, increasing the food quality, protecting human health, reducing the amount of water that is used, decreasing GHG emissions, all of these are important areas. And we're able to do this because we're empowering the food supply chain with the tools and devices and insights that are driven off of these tools and devices that allow them to make smarter decisions. Our team is a small team, relatively speaking. It's a company of about 25 individuals at this point in time. We're looking to now grow as we look for that next round of investment to close that out, rather. And with the team that we have, and I know I've got three of our senior members of the team listed here, but really we're about much more than that. It's a lot of expertise on the sensor side, a lot of expertise on the AI side for quite a number of years in building computer vision systems in the medical industry. A lot of intelligence within the team around how to rapidly build businesses globally. That combined has allowed us to track a path for sabermetrics that is being recognized, by organizations like Deep Tech, Hello Tomorrow. We're out of 5,000 companies. We're recognized as AI pioneers, Ag Funders, Startup of the Year. I'm sounding unhumble, but there's quite a few of them. CIX Top 20 recipient. And one that we're really proud of is Sustainable Development Technology Canada, which is a program that awards significant funding to companies that are making an environmental impact. So having said all that, India for us is an important region to grow, and our investor as well, which is one of the largest software companies in the world, has identified India as which should be as part of our growth strategy for Asia and Southeast Asia. So very interested in looking for potential partners, possible investors, and possible customers within the region as well. And my name is there at the bottom, my number and my email address as well. It'll be my pleasure to field any questions or connect with anybody that is interested in our company. Thank you, Pallavi. Thank you, CTA Group, for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Harj, and I wish you all the very best and all the success. I think we have the poll questions. I would request people to, select the companies they would be interested in having further discussions. Thank you. With this, I would like to invite Sunil. Sunil, would you be so kind to do the thank you note for us?
Sure, Pallavi. I'm happy to do that, but I think I'm cognizant of time. I know there are a lot of questions. You want to just open it up for a few who pinged us one-on-one, if there's time to accommodate at least a couple of questions.
You think, Sunil, because we are really running short on time, so let's take those questions. If
okay, no problem. I just
we can reach out to them further, and unless you have some specific questions from the chat that you would like to address.
No. I noticed that there are a lot. That's fine. That I noticed there are a lot of engaging chats and questions coming in both on the chat window and the questions. And I noticed a couple of hands were raised, so I wasn't sure if they have not posted it on the chat, or you want to take those, or can I conclude with a brief thank you? Maybe I can summarize it for everyone's benefit, because I'm aware and need to be cognizant of everyone's time. It's nearly 11 India time, and I know that everyone's kind of scheduled this up to 11 o'clock their time. So firstly, thank you once again to the High Commissioner's Office, the Trade Commissioner's Office of Government of Canada, for not only hosting today's session, but I think driving this entire program. I think it's a win-win on both sides, from the Canadian companies, the cohort members, but also the Indian ecosystem. There are opportunities to partner, there are opportunities to leverage the technology areas, and co-collaborate in many ways. Just to kind of summarize, I know some of you have been pinging me one-on-one as well on WhatsApp, some on the chat. So it's been, I'm sure the levels of interest vary for each one of you, for all the 7 companies you've heard from. So Prashant, who will be the contact from Zinnov, would be the one to reach out to for any of your queries. If you want to reach out and speak one-on-one to any of the members of the cohort you heard from today, do drop a message or a mail to Prashant. I think you've posted on the chat window, right, Pallavi? I'm just trying to find that.
Prashant, could you bring us to the slide?
Yeah, so I request all of you all to just drop a mail to Prashant, and then with Prashant's help at Zinnov, we will connect you with the relevant founder or CEO of the startup that you want to reach out to. Of course, if you want to reach out to all of them, we'll be more than happy on that. After this session, there's also going to be a thank you mail and a feedback form. Like Scott said at the start, this is the first one that we are rolling out. It's very important to get your feedback. So there are always areas of enhancing, running this more often, doing one-on-one outreaches to some of you. So do complete the feedback form. It helps us and helps the members you heard from today, the cohort members, also to work on how better to engage with you. Along with that, once you complete that, you will get what we call as a deal book. So Pallavi has really worked hard behind the scenes to put together what we call as a Canadian Technology Accelerator deal book. Now, your deal book is essentially a summary of all that you heard today. Which are the companies, what are the technology areas, and how to reach out to them. So it gives you some thought, because I know that 6 to 8 minutes per company and rushing through 90 minutes today, it's very little time for you all to digest everything. So the objective of the deal book is think through areas where you'd like to reach out. You can reach out to me. Most of you have my coordinates, but if not, I'd still prefer routing it through Prashant. And the deal book will give you ways of how to engage and collaborate with the companies you heard from. I think, Pallavi, you'll also be sharing a YouTube link, right, of the recorded session, because I did find a few questions that some of you who joined late said you all missed the early part of the presentation. So there will be a recorded YouTube link that will be shared with all of you. So feel free to use that and then think through and reach out to us. And like I said, if there are any specific questions, you can reach out to me. But overall general questions and how to reach out, I think Prashant's your man. He's been really working behind the scenes. He not even turned his camera on today, bit camera shy, but kudos to him and Pallavi for pulling this off. I know they've worked late nights over the last few days. So thank you once again, Pallavi and Prashant and the Zinnov team. Thank you to all the attendees and the participants from India. But most of all, thank you for all our cohort members, the startups from Canada, for taking time off, joining today's session and walking through very quickly. We kind of put a gun to their head and said, complete everything in 6 minutes. So we respect everyone's time. So they all adhered to the timeline. So thank you once again to all the 7 companies from Canada who joined in and late us. And I know the High Commissioner had a meeting, but thank you once again to him for hosting this, joining the session, and Scott, last but definitely not the least, for driving this entire CTA program. So thank you once again.